I was in for a baby aquaba and found Bramega TV and platform with SO. Yen na yenim say Chief Alan Kwajuchire Mantini movement, you know, she say turning into political party. I friend a year UP, that is a year United Party. Na sa party ya or lanchi ena Ibrahim, yes, Abraham Amaliba. What I say, Abraham Amaliba. Yeah, one of the NDC legal team no member. Any Professor Smart Sarpong, also a political analyst or some poster, FND, Sembi, Amaliba clâshed on a year TV3, any sir, a year discussion. Efa say, Alan better get MPP, and I say, why no better get na watching ni members ediama ni political party na busia for san komoyi yanko ine nkoti ni endomu suko na yakoba yebeto aso mesra so document betum bra conversation ni koso na wa like dwudi na wa share na foforo anyi bia hwe subscribe for latest update inti is any bia yakoba yebeto aso.
If you have to pick between NDC and NPP, you're likely to agree with NDC. Or what do you think?
That's a good question.
Well, Ghana since independence has always been predominantly a two-party state, even though in terms of a constitution, we could be a multi-party state. But in practice, so you're either a socialist or a capitalist, you're either an Nkrumahist or you are a Dankwa-Buzaist. So that has how it has been since time immemorial. And so there's not going to be a three-party state. There will always be these two. But with the two, you have new parties replacing them at where they are. So NDC has replaced Nkrumah's party. They can also replace the Dankwa-Buzaist part of it. But it will always be two. The reason is that Ghanaian voters have always, and you hear this often, we don't want to spoil our vote. Not that the candidate at the third party is not good, but they feel that it is worthless because at the end of the day, that person will not win. So why don't you go to those political parties that have the potential to win? But I want to say the political strategists who advise the movement for change to outdoor their party in this moment when the MPP itself is in disarray is a master planner. And if you want to know if the MPP is in disarray, watch and listen to the vituperations coming out from the camps of the flag bearership race, particularly Mahmoud Bawumia and Kennedy Japan. In fact, it's not the two of them per se, but they are followers. That boy, Miraculous Abuaji, has a toxic tank, you know. So I wonder why Bawumia still keeps him at the forefront. I'm not saying sack him, but such a person cannot elicit votes for you with such tank. But they are enjoying it. But in all these discussions, how did we get here? And people are shying away. There was one Anakufado who, when he took over the reins of this party, brought it to where it is. And we warned him. The high-handedness with which he managed that institution called the MPP is what has brought us to this day. And I think that when people begin to ask questions that, is Ghana ready for a third force? Ghana may not be ready for a third force, but Ghana will be ready to replace one of the dominant parties. Ghana will be ready to replace one of the dominant parties. If you look at what has happened, and Prof touched on it briefly, but he didn't hit it on the nail like I am about to do. Those who are forming the UP party, not the UP tradition. Now when you are using UP, one is a tradition, one is a party. Are the intellectual wing of the MPP that have broken out. And you saw him doing some comparisons. Take this one and look at this.
Yeah.
Take this one and look at this. Take this one and look at this. That's the intellectual wing. That is the wing that would have been in the business of thinking for the regeneration of the party that have been left. That has left. Those who are there now cannot be compared to those who have left. You have the Abronians who are there still managing the affairs. The Wuntumis managing the affairs of this. You see, in a political party, you need a two. You need a two. Because when you say, oh, these people are weed smokers, let's not mind them. But you get to know that this weed smoker can help you win elections.
They have a thumb.
They have a thumb too. My chairman was telling me how when he was going to, during assembly elections, as a member of parliament, his candidate was losing. But the one who was winning was amongst the weed smokers. So one of the weed smokers came and said, Papa, you're not weed. And so they agreed that the police should come at a certain time and then logo him, then parade him in the town. And that's what they did. When they paraded him, his candidate won. So that's a strategy from a weed smoker.
And it worked.
It worked. So you need both sides. But I'm saying that where the intellectual wing lives and there's only the other group there, you can imagine how that party will sink. The NPP itself too is not even helping itself. I mean, those in they are parliamentarians. We had this situation before in the days of J.H. Mensah and Co. Aprako and Co. They turn around their minority into majority. Is that what these people are doing? They are not helping. So I am saying that this group that has just come up, the UP party, has a bright chance to replace the NPP if the advice given by Prof. Smart and given by Prof. Enoch are heeded to.
Okay.
And for me, I'll be happy to have a replacement, because when you look at the makeup of the NPP, as if they were put together by whoever to come and destroy and go. And I've been saying at informal meetings, you see this hole they dug at the cathedral. If this current government doesn't do anything about it immediately and use it, in the unlikely event that they come, they will share it among themselves. My fear always is that when I hear my government putting in place things and ensuring that things are preserved for Ghanaians, then when I think about the NPP, I say, but we are preserving it. When they come, they'll collect all the job. So it is good that he has told us that they are a centrist party. And what is a centrist party? They are in between the left wing and the right wing, which means that they will not be at the extreme end as mimic the NPP. They would have Ghana at heart. And if they continue to hammer that, they will get the NPP votes.
And what's the strategy? And I'm asking because Prof made reference. He said that 5%, try and target 5%. Over the period, we've heard political analysts say that the fastest way for a party to make an impact is to try and get some seats in parliament, mainly from the base of your flag bearer potentially. We saw when Indum tried with the Progress Party, they targeted with the PPP, they targeted some of the areas in the central region. Is that the approach you are using, or you are banking on Alan's national popularity, hoping that he can be that force that drives everyone into the party?
Certainly, this is a political party, and a political party does not hinge on an individual. The movement was Alan movement, Alan, but this time you're talking about a political party. And so we are going to present candidates, parliamentary candidates, across the country. We are going to be very competitive in this election. And except that at this stage, I can't be disclosing our strategy. But we are going to be a force to reckon with. And quite honestly, as I said, you see, let's also accept the fact that when people get frustrated, when people get disappointed, they tend to look for alternatives. And so it depends on how we also present ourselves to Ghanaians. As like AB said, if you're able to sell our message to Ghanaians, you see, political parties are not ebusia. I've said this time and again. It's not. They are not clans. I'm Insona, Asona or Insonani. I can't cease to be Insonani. I was NPP, but I'm not NPP. So political parties have the same features like what in economics we call perfect competitive market or monopolistic competitive market. There's always free entry and free exits. That's how political parties are. So we believe that with the kind of the youth that are coming up, who are not normally affiliated with the political parties, but they want to see what political parties can do or governments can do, they can decide to change the narrative. I mean, let's not kid ourselves into thinking that we are like robots. And once I'm an NPP person or once I'm an NDC person, I'm that forever. You may have people like that, but if you look at the kind of youth that are coming up, the kind of generation we are having, you can see. If you look at the way the elections, for example, a party or a president that lost almost 1 million votes within a matter of 4 years, almost won the elections, and after 4 years won with about 1.7 million votes, which means people can easily change their minds if they think this is not good and this is good. Are you getting it? So, yes, we have our own strategy. We are going to be very competitive, and we are going to present our case to Ghanaians. We believe that NDC will present a new candidate, will present a manifesto. NPP will do same. I believe that Alan is better than all the candidates NPP is presenting. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Put Alan there and if your Ghana is your own company, and you have to employ one as CEO of your company called Ghana, will you employ any of them ahead of Alan? So that is the kind of conversation we need to have as a nation. That, yes, beyond political parties, what is the individual himself bringing to the table? I mean, and so we have quite a number of strategies we are going to roll out in the coming
Prof made
days.
reference to the generational issue.
There are two profs here.
Yes, Professor Pukwe. You made reference to the new generation that you ought to target. I mean, there are those who would argue that there's a bit of a generational gap between Alan and the present generation. I mean, that could be a big challenge. If I go back 15 years, the Alan that we knew, we all thought Alan was going to win the NPP race at the time. I mean, if you ask young people, and when I talk to young people, they do not know Alan as we knew him. Yeah. And he's still the one leading the party. I mean, he's likely to lead the party anyways. I mean, once you go through those processes. Do you see that generational gap as a problem?
You see, in terms of the persons, I mean, the person Alan, in relation to the generation, there could be a gap. But in terms of the plans and policies we are bringing, there can never be a gap. Okay. Because if you have plans and programs that address the needs of the youth, there can be that gap. Okay. And that is exactly what we are bringing. Because if the youth are unemployed, if you have a young person leading a party that does not be able to create jobs for the youth, why would they support the party because of the fact that the party is being led by the youth? They will look at the programs and they will look at the program and see whether they see themselves in the programs.
But I don't even believe that Alan is so old that the youth don't. If the youth voted for Akufo-Addo,
then I don't. I mean, that's a very solid point. That's a very solid point.
Alan is not out of. Does not belong to the old stock, so properly so called. Alan should be in the middle. They will know him. Those down and those up too will know him. So he can cash on both.
Yeah, but if you pick even within the NPP itself, when Alan contested, if you compare that to the pre-2008 period, you will see clearly that within the party even, he did not have control at all compared to that period.
Don't forget that the second time that he came, there was an Akufo. I keep telling you, this Akufo-Addo phenomenon, you think it's a joke. Who literally hijacked the party and whipped everybody into line. So it was difficult, and that's how come Alan couldn't maneuver within the system and had to leave. So once there was no clear playing field, it was difficult for Alan to perform the same way that you expected him to perform in the last time. The dynamics have changed, but I think Alan is still within the bracket. You know, Alan should be like Mahamad's contemporary, and Mahama is not beyond. So the youth who voted for even Akufo-Addo, if you should know Alan. Yes.
Do you think that they should focus on the parliamentary seats or they should focus on presidential?
No, it's too. I think Prof. Smart mentioned it. It's too late now to bring in any dramatic change within this period, say in 2028. But what they can do is to focus on the parliamentary seats. Alan and Prof said it. Alan should focus in taking Ejiso. It's doable. Don't forget that there was this guy who also went Ediobi. If they get that guy to their fold, he can take Ejiso. And now you can have your base, and you can now have your back to the wall and now begin to target other areas. So they should focus, and the parliamentary even shouldn't be everywhere. They should focus on, in fact, they should first focus on Ashanti region.
So, to add something,
Promise, guys.
No, but you want to go or you want me to?
No, you moderate.
Let me come from
You know, I can't be scared, but I understand politics very well.
A little bit scared.
Yeah. No, I can't be scared. I don't get scared. Why should I be scared? So, but I understand. So when Senior Amaliba was speaking, of course, I understood. It will be his wish forever that the Ashanti region is deflated the way it is. So that's why he mentions that. But I think I go with the idea that they wouldn't have to even target all the 276 constituencies if they want to make impact, even in the parliamentary election. They should carefully select areas that they feel, with the crop of leaders they have, their impact. So that it's a test. Chief Alan should try and test all his leaders. So if you are Chairman Abubakar Sadiq, you must demonstrate that in this constituency you have some level of influence. Don't contest yourself if you don't want to, but at least that constituency should be targeted as one of the parliamentary seats that the party would want to contest. Chairman General Boabea Samoa, if you are that influential, where is your base? Let's target those places. Then Chief Alan will come with a Joso, or I mean, in that order. Sinebu, where's your constituency?
Cape Coast.
Cape Coast Central.
Yes.
Cape Coast East or north or south?
Cape Coast out.
You want
So
to
he himself should contest there.
So I think that will be the approach. The starting should not be deemed to be too aggressive or high expectations. I mean, if you do that and you come back to assess your performance in 2020, if you are not careful, you will be demotivated because you over-expected. Still, the NDC and the NPP, irrespective of all that we have discussed today, are strong parties. We can't underestimate their government, their foundations. They are everywhere in the country. And I have this 5 group of people who vote. The moderates, the literates, the constants, those that vote based on fashions, and then the other group. But I think that there are some constants in the NDC and the NPP that the Movement for Change or the UP or any other political party in the 10, the second category of political parties, should try and get. They must get some constants. The NDC will tell you at least we have some 34, 35% constants. The NPP will tell you we have similar constants. So they will get that they are 34% and then count on the hard work of the various rank and file of the party to bring on the other votes, including the attraction of the flag bearer and the parliamentary candidates they will file at the various constituencies. That is the structure. That is the game we are playing called politics. It shouldn't be oversimplified. It is not like Ghana is one small community you can go and start engaging. No. It is subdivided into 276 constituencies, and the political parties who are leading, NPP and NDC, should not be seen as one day you are a centralized party, you come and center in the middle, and so you will draw from the left and draw from the right.
That is exactly what you are going to do.
Oh no, but Senior Amaliba has vehemently defended the fact that no member of NDC is going to shift to the center. he made it look like the NPP because the movement for change they can draw.
So he remained in the center for a long time.
I can assure him that there are some constants. I call them constants. As for the fashion group, I can say Chief Alan and his group belong to this category. They are factions. Even if they are stayed in the NPP, they will still subtle vote against the NPP. There are some in every political party. In fact, there are some in NDC who, after elections, cannot forgive. And so they will be there like they are with Chief Amaliba.
Well, it's like disgruntled.
And you and I don't know what they go and do when they get to the booth. So those people are there. And I mean, classically, you can see that United Party, I mean,
and NPP experienced that kind of a situation in the last election.
Every political party.
No, but NPP experienced it.
Yes, the highest. They suffered it most.
And it's going to be worse in 2020.
Yeah, that would be your wish. Maybe they can also unite and all those things. But I mean, the point I want to make is that the fact that you position yourself in the center doesn't mean you can draw from left and right. I still insist that they must accept that it's a game that starts from somewhere, gets into a certain level, and then it peaks at the point where the NDC and the NPP are. It is not going to be simply that you think your chairman is more of a capacity than the other chairman. Maybe you may say that Chairman Amaliba clâshed, I don't know the comparison they would want to do with my uncle Asedun Ketia or whoever. But the NDC do keep changing their chairman, just as the NPP will be changing or keep changing their chairman, depending on the times they have. So they will continue to do those things, and it's not going to be based on that the United Party is going to start as though you don't intend to benefit from left and right. It's a serious advice I'm giving. Then when it comes that you are benefiting from left and right, it becomes an additional something, and not that.
And earlier on, you made a point about the other political parties, and I want you to emphasize on that point for me. How important would that be in terms of bringing those parties into their fold? I mean, we have the CPP, there's the PNC, there's the DFP, GFP, all those political parties are all around.
So I'm sure those watching and himself would take notice of that, because I meant it. They exist, but they really need a father. They wish to come home. You remember a few months before the election, all the CPP kind of groups were trying to talk to come together. So they wish to come together, but it's been difficult because of, I don't know, power struggle or who takes what. If the UP wants to be true UP, like it was 68 years ago, they source those political parties that know the Gashifimo pay. Prof mentioned it in English. It's a steadfast group. You see, so it's a clue that you take UP and you must actually demonstrate how they did this.
But there's an ideological challenge. I mean, I don't see how the CPP, for instance, would want to join the UP.
Oh, ideology is a school of thought. It's a conceptual theory. You can always orient your mind to it. There are younger people who were not there when maybe Senior Amaliba and the earlier founders of NDC were forming the NDC and founded the idea of socialism. But as they grow, the Democracy Institute, and I hear the NPP has also established Patriotic Institute, the United Party Institute also can begin to groom. Ideas are groomed. We are all not there when the foundational ideas were formed. But as you grow, you are taught, you orient, and those that you fit in, you join and join fully. So that won't be a challenge.
And finally, before I come to Prof, what will the UP mean for the NPP?
They should not, you see, my advice to them will be not to target the NPP. They are a political party now. Yes, most of their members came from the NPP, just as most CPP members came from CPP and joined the NDC. They should, having joined the NDC, they planned how to make the NDC work. Having come from the NPP, please think of how to make the UP work. If you bank your hopes so much on the NPP, you may not get it the way you want. But if you establish your own home very, very well, any addition that comes from the NPP or the NDC, as you have positioned yourself to attract, would then be a plus to your efforts. And I'm sincere about this advice.
Prof, do you think they can make an impact realistically? And what, in your opinion, can they do to make the necessary impact?
The whole thing depends on how they act, in wisdom, because they are in a very awkward situation. If you talk about the concept of centrism, you will see that Oviedo in the 1st century said that the best way is the middle way. And what that meant at that time to him was that if you are in the middle, then that's the best way. You are neither here nor there. Now everybody will pick commitment against interesting. So you can be interested in something, but nobody will pick you. They will rather pick somebody who is committed to what you're doing, because anybody who is committed see to the logical conclusion of whatever they do. Now, having said that, I think that we in Africa are even suffering at the UN for the Security Council because we joined the non-aligned movement. Now, the West, either you join America because they formed the UN, or you join China and the Russians, you know. But with time, centrism also grows. Remember, the NDC of ex-president J.J. Rawlings was different from the NDC of Professor Mills. A lot of people that I know, including myself, joined NDC because of Professor Mills. He was a very calm person, somebody who wanted to heal. I remember I went to his office one time before Manibuama, and then a woman came in and said, "Prof, you threw me from me." The husband was a prison officer and died. The woman was staying in that house, that apartment with the kids, I think 4 kids or so, and they were sacking the woman from the house. And what Prof told the woman is that, Mensu Waritum. Mensu Waritum. I was so quiet that day. See, the man never fought for anything. He wasn't about material things. I remember when his father died, I was in Cape Coast. It's the Center for National Culture also. That is where they laid the father instead. He didn't have a house in his hometown. That humbleness. Somebody who wanted to heal the nation. He listened to everybody. He's the reason why some of us joined NDC. So the same party, but different leadership. That is why I define leadership as your character in action. Anybody who becomes a leader, your character will show in your leadership. So being a centrist party, sometimes you can be there, you cannot put somebody from the left, you cannot put somebody from the right, because people are committed to party A or party B. So that is where the caution should be. But I think that Alan has also distinguished himself. Yesterday I was on 3FM in the morning, they called me, and I was saying that the way Kufuor and Alan grew together, similar characters. They really thought about whatever they wanted to say before they say it. So Kufuor had a succession plan. In Alan, it didn't work. It got to a point. The reason why 2008 Nana Addo lost was that he didn't even involve Kufuor in everything that he was doing. He was campaigning on himself, thinking that he could win, and he didn't win. When he lost, he wanted to go to court. Remember the second round of voting, he lost to Atamils by 40,000 votes, 0.04%. And he wanted to go to court. But Kufuor said, whoever is declared a winner, I'm going to hand over to that person. See, that kind of person is what we need as a leader, somebody who will heal us. Because this country has been polarized for a long time. We've had leaders like Nana Addo who have destroyed NPP, and people don't want to hear this. Look at the legacy that he has built, the empire that he built, leaving behind. Feisty people who want to fight, who are agitative. That is, I have known Nana Addo for a long time. And when I saw him first, I was kind of, you know, I watch people a lot. I'm a good observer. First, he had this handkerchief on his. Have you all seen that? Yeah. And every time he had this handkerchief on his shirt. So I was wondering, is it a Pancho or whatever that he always. And then when he became a president, he had this chair, the stool, that everywhere he was going, it was in a car. And I was thinking that, what is it? Because people are not asking these questions. What is it? If you are a very observer, you ask a lot of questions. Now, seeing that, do you realize that in Nana Addo's time, even in NPP, nobody was speaking? Did you notice that? He sat on everybody. Nobody was speaking. Nobody had a mouth. Now that NPP people were talking, at this time, nobody, even Kufuor could not speak. Because when Kufuor speaks, he didn't listen. What happened to him? I don't know. But that is what happened. His character shown in his leadership. And I think that moving forward, we need good leaders, servant leaders, who will build communities. Because we've been polarized, like I said, who will listen to everybody. But joining it to Alan, I think that he's shown himself to be a very humble person. He's come a long way. I like what he did when it was a movement by appointing that young guy to be his vice. You remember? Yeah. We heard of Ochame Kwame saying that he was contacted. So it means that Alan is looking for a young guy who can link with the current generation. That means he knows his weakness. One thing in leadership is that I am a very calm person. I've never been angry in my life. I'm always cool. Now, if I want a vice president, if I'm a president or I am a CEO and I want a vice president I'm hiring, I'll hire somebody who is aggressive, who is feisty, because I need somebody to complement my weakness. And that is what Alan did. So from that angle, I can tell that he knows what he cannot do. And that is also one part of leadership. You should know what you can handle and what you cannot handle, and when to cry and when to smile. And I think that moving forward, even if he doesn't make it at his lifetime, the party will be there. And one day, people will look that way.
Let's do some messages. I'll give Ebo the final word and we'll wrap up for clear and obvious reasons. This one here, Desiree Marvin Chelsea, I think you're a member of the United Party. You're responding to, I think it was Prof who said that, Professor Sarpong who said that they shouldn't target the MPP. Says, we'll target the MPP. We'll target the MPP. And Ibrahim...
He's protecting his own. He said, don't come and target us.
And Ibrahim Anyas, Ibrahim, you say that these strategies are really helpful, wonderful education. And another one here, you say that they will target the MPP 24/7. You can cry. It says okay, a lot of you are talking about boycotts. We are not discussing boycotts here. It says, Prof. Sarpong, I like this your advice to UP, but the way your predictions were very, okay, we are not talking about predictions here. Another UP reincarnated is also here. Musa Batwa from Asawasi, you also sent a message here. You are saying that kudos to Alan Chamantin for taking a bold step to form a formidable political party capable of competing within Ghana's current political landscape. Considering the caliber of person he is and his remarkable track record in public service, I strongly believe he has something meaningful to offer to the nation. The Royal United Party has truly come to stay, and I wish them the very best in their political journey ahead. And some more messages then. Ebo will wrap up for us here. Interesting.
Are you going to target them or you not?
Interesting comments. You want to say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, what Alan and his party can do, particularly Alan, is to be noted for something. He must be prepared to take an issue and deal with it and be known for that.
Absolutely.
Because it was Mandela who said that any man who changes his principle, because they say they are centric party, they will be here, they will be here. Today you are here, tomorrow you are here. Mandela said that any man who changes his principle, depending on who he deals with, cannot be a good leader. And so he must come out and be known for something. And by so doing, he will begin to attract people of like mind to him. That is one way by which their party can survive.
Okay.
But he should target it with the MPP.
Quite honestly, we take every advice on board. I mean,
and it's a good thing that we've used the whole time to discuss Alan here.
Yes,
He's made the party relevant.
Yes. Of course. So it is always good to listen to people and what they offer in terms of advice. So, yes, Prof, we take your advice on board, but we also add ours, you know.
Of course.
And as you said, certainly if you're a political party, you need to target groups and target individuals to have votes. And certainly we are going to target our political parties, even though Prof is scared that we're going to target MPP more.
No.
We are going to target every political party, and even beyond the political parties, those who are not doing politics, we'll still target them, because at the end of the day, it is the people who are going to determine who will be the leader of this country, not the political parties per se. So I take that on board. But let me also say this, that you see, the young man, the young MP who said that they want to take this matter up, they want to go to court.
They want to go to court, yes.
I want to advise him. You see, so far you have been playing friendly matches with MPP. If they want us to elevate it to the World Cup, we'll do it. and so if they really want to, want us to take the matter to the World Cup level, we are prepared to do that. And so I will advise them. I mean, we have chosen a name. You see, MPP should also realize that the United Party was made up of 7 political parties. GANs were part of it.
Of course.
EWES were part of it. But you say your party is Dombo, Dankwa, only 3 gates. I mean, I'm from Fantaland. I don't see myself in there. I don't think the GANs also see themselves there. I don't see the EWES see themselves there. So if you can't see yourself in MPP, see yourself in the UP. And that's why EWES is a broad-based centrist national party. That everybody is welcome. We need people, because at the end of the day, what is important is that we are all yearning to serve this country to make sure that we elevate this country to a level that all of us desire, given the kind of resources we have and the kind of the potentials we have. I believe that if we're able to do things right, this country would be the country we all want to see.
Just so you don't go, people don't go with the misconception that I was not for their targeting
of the NPP.
Yeah. We came here to advise. My advice to them was that if their only existence is going to be hinged on targeting one political party,
and that's not what we are going to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think that was the point you made.
Yes, to our viewers and to your good self.
Yes.
The point is that
they are more likely to benefit.
The point is that in real life you must choose your battles. There are some battles which, when you go in, you have a bloody nose. The NDC, is so formidable.
That if they try.
It will always come here. It must always come here. Something like that was always coming from KP.
That is all time would allow us this morning. My guests have been Ebo Bachman. Ebo Bachman is Deputy Communicator for the United Party. He joined us in the studio as always. Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi is a governance and policy expert and analyst. Professor Smart Sarpong is Director of Research and Innovation at KSTU. And Abraham Amaliba, Senior, is a legal practitioner and Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Also joined us for this segment. Just before we go, some explanation or some news from the Daily Graphic. Fellow citizens, we thank God it's Friday. Due to technical challenges beyond our control, we are unable to print a Daily Graphic today. While we regret this unfortunate development, we wish to remind the entire nation that for your convenience in appreciating the critical role Daily Graphic plays, our cherished clients, readers, advertisers, and followers to access the digital version of Daily Graphic on Graphic News Plus app now. And so that is what you can get in terms of getting access to the Daily Graphic portal, the news that you enjoy every single day. And the talk about the United Party is not done. Roland Walker had an exclusive interview with Alan Kyerematen to discuss his vision, what he intends to do with the United Party, some of the strategies that Ebo says he's not going to share everything with us. You get a bit more from Chief Alan.
So UP has come to stay. UP has come to what? Stay. Yes, he say the newest political party in town. Yura Alan Kyerematen, the political party, no. What you say, NSC, or dominity or Ghana. Na debia meka. Say Yura Alan Kyerematen yere ne ho. Na ototo niema yi a. The only thing any say and one say obeden. Obe collapse NPP no more take NPP a year position. Said your name a year. I think say Amaliba and all come on. There won't be anything like third force. Ghana there. It will be always two political parties. If not MPP, it will be NDC. So this is the time I was say a year Alan Kyerematen etoto nyema yie na put things together na one ne nkrofo they should put themselves together and make sure be make sure say be penetrate na be grant through the MPP. Professor Smart Sarpong, he's just a joker. Saying say ma UP and target MPP. No mon targeting him for. This UP we know right now is coming out from the MPP. Members are omudi Alan Kyerematen party nechi. Henceforth and as CCA 90%, I can even boldly tell you 99%. Every MPP mu na omo perception any omo ideology any say to bring MPP down. You get me? To bring MPP as a political party down because they think MPP has shown them sage. MPP has shown their leader, Alan Kwadwo Chiramantin, Berimaba, Sheje. So, I was also making sure, say, dominate na party no, et me a yakono. What in a mechonasi? Inti NPP for, Omupo, UP is taking their members, some of their members. UP will be taking some of their what? Their members. Yes. That one, you people should be what? Rest assured. You people should be what? Ready for it. And he said, now, Amalibani, or Mankasa, or rep Ekano. I was almost very consistent. Now, I'm making sure, say, across Ghana, the blood, and also there may earn already a Busiamon Fantamio, meaning and Permian Tintia. The breadth and the what, or the breadth and length of this country, you know, they should have a representative. Also, Munya and then Simu, and as I am seeing in Parliament, every corner of this country. Also, Munya, so Mutiminya Sadena, a bebwa papa, a bebwa, a bebwa, me. I preach and call them Pertino, a bay more powerful than NPP. Because NPP are saying, no, I was your point. My main council in Fanchero. MPP, I digana, MPP, I digana, bro. MPP, digana, wo, MPP, digana, bro. You can't MPP, I say, my man, you do any mean, shame, and Casa Aquawi, we need to make the Aquawi, we may, I was your point. My main council in Fanchero, and that's $1. The state of the dollar. And then the state of the dollar, 10 cedis, or trade 10 cedis and some few pesos be. What you know now, MPP, no better now. So, no more magic bianco, more pay for me. You said, no more me, and I know, ding, now, okay, dollar. If that fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate to expose you and those kind of West terms, you know. Senka, now, or more magic beer. Senka, no more chance beer. Senka, no more beer. And they will do anything possible. And what? They will do anything possible to make sure that dollar no ako from now so they are doing keke to even make Bomia a good, candidate for their election. And I say, next election, that was the 2024 elections. But because of say no money plans, they don't even know how to even manage the dollar to come to. Even first another 17, M60, when see the program and no money. So they were what? Borrowing. And then they are accusing NPP, NDC of buying what? Almost then, Omu Cheska Gume or Bank of Ghana. Now, when they would do Sikana no Kufad Momu Chamano. Then Tawani flip Ernest to someone, flip Addison, Ernest Addison and then the same. Saquano, Ernest Addison. Philip Addison, they saw me the inventor of Bob on the Obeda Quiet Bank of Ghana, with Tremia or TFSB. Or some monitor by a coffee cameras be when you fee or the monitor for MPP for your full crew. Hey, Ghana pa Rani dear, anyone so overlooking these criminals. So they need to be jailed. In fact, who can jail now for EL not just already or more daily or more data because Enkofo ya say Ghana Enkofo they have caused they have caused good they have caused harm more than good. They have caused what harm more than good. The mudi yo man we do almost take Ghana and every the state of this country and now I don't see when you maya for last time let me be said cement ball price just to know okay MPP for it is one. Now a ton, almost 150 Ghana, one bag of cement. It won't buy open then. I don't quite chairman tell you know na boy juma. Now I am bringing MPP down because MPP is a what? It's a criminal. It's a criminal political party. Omu pomupio. Omu aya konfo bebre womu omanyo mu nyina. But some of them ya konfo. I require say more opportunity. Anywhere close to Ghana, I mean power na si bibisa. And this our mind we are doomed. Edi Alam say be alternative bi baba dia na say Chief Alan the UP no na enka ibitimi ayeden ato ama no say NDC ekọ na ho megiemu in 2042 a Alan Kojochemati UP no na was edi ne ba we be say dental na Alan na di fi say anya den a obenya different but say Solomon Owusu ni nyina wo they are very vibrant and I mean very formidable leaders how make me lead the party no you forget it why Alan ni ho ayo nkofo mbesi omanai nti munyire mu ho munye adwuma yeta mochi kira wadwe wo comment section ni makra bye bye.